Welcome to Rich Tribe. Today we're going to talk about something that is so frustrating, and I think a lot of us have been there. It's that feeling of working your tail off, doing everything right, and still feeling broke. Yeah, that feeling you get paid, and for like a hot minute, you think, okay, I'm catching up. And then bam, rent is due. If that sounds familiar, I want you to hear this. The problem probably isn't you, it's the system you're operating in. I mean, we were all told this simple story, right? Hard work plus responsibility equals a stable life. But the reality for so many of us is hard work plus responsibility just feels like running in place. And when that promise doesn't pan out, it doesn't just feel like a financial problem, it feels like a personal failure. So wait, are you saying it's not just me being lazy or bad with money? Because honestly, it feels like I'm failing a test that everyone else seems to be acing.
That is exactly the feeling. But no, you are not failing. You're likely caught in one of a few big economic traps. Traps that are basically designed to eat up all your effort before it can turn into anything real. Let's dig into the first one.
All right, so the first trap is what we call the survival math trap. This is when your income is just enough to keep the lights on and the car running, but it's not enough to actually build a durable life. You're not building distance, you're just maintaining motion. And that's what makes this so tricky, right? Because on the surface, everything can look totally fine. You're paying your bills, you're getting by. But underneath it all, the math is just brutal. Your margins are so paper thin that one normal everyday problem like your car breaking down or a surprise doctor's bill, it acts like a total financial reset button. It just wipes out everything you've saved. And look, this isn't just a hunch. The data is crystal clear on this. Fewer than 1 in 7 workers in low-wage jobs are actually considered financially healthy. That means the overwhelming majority are living right inside this trap. And if you look at the top sources of that financial stress, it's not what some people might think. It's not about buying fancy coffee. It's the absolute fundamentals, not having enough savings for an emergency and the sky-high cost of health insurance. These two things are like the walls of the trap, just squeezing people.
Okay, but you might be thinking, hang on, my wages have gone up a little bit. So why in the world does it still feel like I'm falling behind? Well, that's an excellent question, and it leads us straight into the second trap.
This one is the salary ceiling trap. And this happens when we confuse just pure effort with actual leverage. Think about it. If the only way your income can increase is if you work more hours, then your progress is literally chained to your body, and there's a hard physical limit on how much you can possibly work. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of the issue. For decades, worker productivity has skyrocketed. I mean, we are creating more value per hour than ever before in history. But that value isn't trickling down. It's not showing up in the paychecks of the typical worker. There is a massive disconnect happening. And if you're wondering where all that value is going, well, take a look at this. Between 1979 and 2013, the top 1% saw their wages jump 138%. The bottom 90%, a measly 15%. So no, you are not imagining it. You really are running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. So let me get this straight. My hard work is literally making someone else richer while I'm completely stuck? Yeah, in a nutshell, that's the salary ceiling trap. Your effort is getting captured by a system where you don't have any ownership, you don't have any of the upside, you just have your time to sell. Okay, so when you take the survival math trap and you combine it with the salary ceiling trap, what you get is maybe the most dangerous one of all, the exhaustion trap. And this is a really vicious cycle because financial stress doesn't just drain your bank account, it drains your mental energy, the very bandwidth you need to actually fix the problem. The work you do to stay afloat is the same work that's stealing the energy you need to build a better boat. So is it just about being tired and making bad decisions? Well, it's actually deeper than that. See, a rested brain can ask long-term questions like, how can I make next year better? But a tired, stressed out brain, it's just asking, how do I get through tonight? Your mind defaults to survival mode, not strategy mode. And that makes you way more vulnerable to all those expensive shortcuts, late fees, convenience food, high interest debt, just to find some relief. Okay, so this all sounds pretty bleak. How in the world do you escape these traps? Well, the answer isn't to just blame yourself or try to become some kind of perfect budgeting robot overnight. The real answer is to change the actual structure of your financial life. And here's an actionable plan. It starts with 3 key steps. Step 1, you've got to stop the bleeding. That means hunting down and plugging the leaks, things like high-interest debt, subscriptions you forgot about, late fees. Step 2, build a starter buffer. I'm not talking about a huge amount. Even just $500 or $1,000 can make your life so much less fragile. And then, step 3, you have to raise your earning power, not just your hours. But what does raising your earning power actually mean? Well, it means finding leverage. It's the opposite of the salary ceiling trap. This could be learning a new skill that's in high demand, or starting a side project that isn't tied directly to the hours you put in. It's about building something that can grow beyond your time. And hey, if you're getting some value out of this, please take a second to subscribe to the Rich Tribe channel, like this video, and share it. It really helps us keep making these. And that brings us to the crucial 4th step. Once you start making some progress, you have to automate your protection. This is about taking the decision-making out of it. You set up automatic transfers to your savings so that your new income goes to your future self before your old habits get a chance to claim it. You make the right choice the default choice. And this really gets to the core of it all. In today's economy, hard work is just the price of admission. It's the entry fee. What the system actually rewards, and rewards greatly, is leverage over labor, ownership over just being an employee, and scalability over sheer stamina. So, you see, the goal isn't to just work harder. The goal is to make your hard work actually count. You're not just trying to make more money. You're trying to build a life that's harder to break. A life where one bad day doesn't send you back to square one. That's how you really start to change the game. Thanks for watching.